Hello, everybody. Welcome back. As you may or may not be aware at this point, our main campaign, the Glassbreakers Guild version 1, has come to a close.
At last.
We got to the end, although the story continues. So I will definitely leave that up to our characters and our players on how everything sort of played out after the fact. But be that as it may, the campaign has come to a close, and because of that, I need a couple of weeks, or a few weeks, or a couple of months, we'll see, to take a break and finish polishing up the next campaign for these guys and for what comes next. So, in lieu of me having to run a mini campaign and prep a major campaign, for the time being, my lovely wife Dani, who is away from the table at the moment talking with Lance, has got something that she's cooked up in her lovely brain, and she's going to be running that campaign for you for the next foreseeable future. Don't worry, guys. I will be back in the big chair. But in the meantime, we're going to let Dani have a go at it and see how she does. I think she's going to do fantastic. I love the way her mind works. I hope you guys do as well. Before we get started in with all of that tonight, though, just want to go over the few standard announcements that we have to get started. A reminder about the YouTube channel, where you can go and see all of the back episodes of the Glassbreakers Guild Season 1. They're all up there now. I know they are, so go and watch to your heart's content. I think it's fascinating to see how the stream itself has evolved, as well as how the players evolved in working together and playing together. It's a fascinating study in changes over time. We also have our Discord server that we run. It's a good place to get news and information about what's going on with the channel, as well as Kyrie's creative stream and Dani's creative stream when she does creative streams. We've had some stuff going on here at the house, so Dani hasn't been doing as much, but I know she wants to get back into it, and so the Discord server is going to be a good place to get that news when she rolls into that as well. That does remind me, we are going to be short Kyrie tonight. Griffey, I know she's out there in the stream. Hi, Griffey. We miss you. But we'll definitely look forward to having her back. I'm not sure if she'll be back before I take back over or after, but we'll have her back when we have her back, and we'll really enjoy having her back. Normally, I would ask for a recap, but we don't actually have anything to recap yet, so we're not going to do that, and Dani hasn't gotten back to the table yet. So
how do you recap all of campaign 1?
Do you guys want to take a shot?
I was looking at you.
Looking at me? No. See, I tried
How much
doing
do
recaps.
You remember?
I tried doing recaps. It was not pretty, which is why, unfortunately, there are no recaps for the first season of the Glassbreakers Guild. We will do better, I promise. In fact, I think we're going to do better starting with what we're doing here. We're actually going to let recaps happen as we go, so that we don't wind up with a backlog. You live, you learn. You know, that's how things like that work out. Yeah, I don't really have anything to kill the time while we're waiting on Dani.
I mean, for any of you who didn't get to watch last week's session...
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't bring my notes with me. But we ended the death curse. And no, we did end the death curse. Do not make that noise, Brayden.
I don't know if it was we ended it or just like, just like...
Well, no, because the end...
Like,
the death
stepped
curse...
on a bunch of chords and stopped your stream kind of stopped it.
I mean,
you wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
No, of course not.
How many stillborn gods are you gonna find to power your soulmonger thing?
Depends on where you
Okay,
go.
so I can give away a little bit. It's not
Spoiler alert
it's
for
not-
Tomb of Annihilation.
It's not super spoilery actually,
Okay.
because it is common knowledge.
We're good.
So the soulmonger, the machine itself that was feeding souls into the dead god, was the cause of the death curse.
So we did.
So you guys, by destroying that machine, did in
Yes,
fact.
We
I
did.
did. I did destroy both entities. I did.
Death
Did not
curse.
step on a cord.
All right, so Danny's back, so I can turn the big chair over to her
Woo!
and let her have at it. So,
Alright.
Get Lance's name real quick.
no,
Oh,
I'll get that
okay.
later.
Okay.
Alright. Let's see what we can do. Ugh.
Oh, Danny. I forgot to tell
You're what?
Points higher than yours. We'll go over it
Okay,
later.
that works.
Oh.
Hello, beautiful people. Give me 1 second while I set a little thing up here just so that I can say that I did. Alright. Okay. Welcome. This is a weird place for me to be sitting. So,
I have the highest hit points.
we have some fun for you tonight, and for the next however long it takes for you guys to either die or or get to the end of this. For those of you who do not know what is going on, this campaign, this little mini campaign, is designed to perhaps be something that can extend into several mini campaigns. I don't have quite the DM endurance that my husband has, so I like short blocks of a couple months-ish. So we're gonna do this. This is a love letter to a couple of my favorite fandoms. I have changed a few names here and there for the sake of
Copyright.
changing names. Yes, for the sake
To
of
protect the
copyright.
innocent.
Yes, to protect the innocent. To protect the identities of those who would prefer to not be identified. And you will probably, if you belong to any of these fandoms, you will probably realize that very, very quickly in this. We are starting off at level 10. Poser, I know this is a surprise to you, but don't worry, we gotcha. There will also be some surprise influences from outside sources.
Great.
Yes.
It's always a joy.
Surprise! I'm gonna move over here so that I can keep stuff. Okay, there we go. So there have been some people who have been moving some bits and pieces behind the scenes already, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do with that. I will go ahead and start off with giving a little bit of a cinematic presentation of a handful of things that will introduce our characters, and then I will let them introduce themselves. So, our time period is turn of the century London. I should specify that nowadays because I'm older than a lot of these people, and turn of the century probably means something different.
Depends on which one for me.
You're looking like 1900s, like early 1900s, late 1800s. Generally Edwardian-ish London. There is a lot of turmoil still between different ideas of politics, different ideas of what is good, bad, and otherwise. There's a lot of pushback from different categories in social classes. A variety of different things are going on in the London backdrop right now. There is a lot of pain and a lot of hurting. There is also a lot of excess in some of the top echelons of society, as one frequently sees in society, and it just changes colors, changes faces. But all of you are in very different ways in life. But all of you have something very important in common. And that very important thing that you all have in common is about to bring all of you together in a very, very interesting way. Brayden,
Yes.
we see Henry, a slightly, what would you said, 30 something?
30-ish.
A 30-ish year old man in his store, a clock store where he repairs and builds different clocks and other things with similar mechanics involved. He is hard at work with one of his little like monocle thingamabobs, not just monocles. What do they call the things that scope out? That thing. They he's fast at work with many of these trinkets in front of him. Beautiful work. And he had a little bit of an interesting customer today who seemed very, very familiar to him, but he could not place why. It was a tall man in a long, dark trench coat, wild black hair, strange eyes, but you can't exactly remember why. You're realizing that the time is growing late. It's beginning to get very late in the evening, but you're so obsessed with these projects and getting them done, and in the back of your mind, there continues to be this little jab reminding you of this man that you just saw. You're thinking of it so hard, and as you're trying to remember what was so strange about his eyes, you begin to drift to sleep. It's late enough in the day that as you're sleeping, as you're beginning to fall into this sleep, you think to yourself, that's okay. It's not unusual for you to kind of be tired at the end of the day and to maybe take a quick chair nap, something like that. Not that you need one necessarily, but you're kind of high-strung. So it takes a lot of energy to be high-strung. And when the opportunity arises and you actually feel tired and not like you're wound up, you just let it happen. You slip in to a peaceful sleep for now. There is also across town a young woman, 22. Ooh. By the name of Elaine. Sorry, I wrote that down funny. By the name of Elaine. She is a governess to a wealthy home. And after a day of taking care of other people's children, making sure that everything goes well for the family, she is able to retire to her room. It's a nice room, a very pleasant place to be. You've kind of created your own space. There's a drawing next to the table. Perhaps you did it. Perhaps it was somebody else that you might have known that was a decent artist, of a woman that you think maybe you know. Perhaps this could have been your mother. You're not sure. But you like the idea of it. And as you're thinking of the life that you're supposed to be having with this woman who is clearly very noble, this sensation washes over you as though you're being gently rocked in someone's arms, the way you always wanted to be rocked as a child. And as you settle into this feeling, you notice that the person that is rocking you, her eyes, it sounds like it would be frightening, but it's not. There's a warm comfort to them, but they're these dark voids filled with single stars that shine so brightly that they take your breath away. As you look into them, you drift to sleep. Are you still currently in the hard situation, or are you out of it? Okay. Across town, on a very different side of town, in the alleyways, in the dark, as it's growing colder in night, we see Claudius, or Claudius? Claudius. He's an older man, not older, but 55, and he probably looks a bit older than that. Time has not been kind to him these last few years. Children run up to him, tugging at his coattails. He responds with warm smiles as he walks by a street vendor selling food. Very, very passively slips a couple of pieces of fruit into his pocket, unnoticed by the vendor. They were probably spoiling anyway. You could kind of tell that they were on the outskirts of the pile. They were picked over. No one was going to use that anyway. And the kids looking at you so happily that they have your company for now. You look at them in their big, sad, but happy to see you eyes. You give them pieces of the fruit to divide up. And you're kind of encased by the cold London air. It's a bittersweet relationship with this town. You've met so many people that you truly enjoy, most of them very young. But it's a shame what happens. It's always a shame what happens. You pull your coat in around yourself and settle in against a wall for an evening, kind of watching some of your acquaintances, friends, children. They're yours. Whether they know it or not, they're yours. You watch them play as much as you can play at that age and that condition. And you take a small bit of satisfaction seeing this brief moment of happiness in their lives. And you can't help but notice that there's somebody standing behind them. You're not scared for them. But gosh, it's cold. And he looks warm. He hands them each a small roll and a piece of fruit. And then he looks at you. And you're struck by this sensation that you've met him someplace before. You wrap yourself more warmly against the cold and give him a nod. And then you feel the same warmth that you see in him. And the warmth feels so good. And you're so tired. And you drift to sleep against the stone wall. In another side of town, we see Emmeline. There's a, how old did you say, 60-something?
Yeah,
66?
62.
62. A 62-year-old woman in a very nice house with several servants. She looks a little lonely in her wheelchair by her big bay window. It's clearly a cold evening. Your servants tend to you well, but it's not the same when you're paying for the company you keep. If only the servants knew the kinds of things that would happen in your imagination. If only they knew how feisty you were when you were young. That would be so wonderful. One of your mini house cats jumps into your lap. You snuggle its face. It's such a sweet cat, as are all of the bajillions of others in your home.
Woman from Aristocrats? I like it.
You see on the streets many interesting people. You watch them walk by and you imagine what life would be like in their shoes. You used to be in positions frequently where you would actually go out and be the person investing in their lives and doing all of these interesting things, and now the twilight is beginning to fade. You're moving into a different phase of life, and sometimes you regret some of the choices that you've made regarding companionship or friendship at all in any form, much less the types of companionship that your family always pushed for you to have. As you watch the people on the street giving you these familiar and interesting moments of their lives, you see another face. At first, it's just another face in the crowd on the street. But as you watch, you think to yourself, that man I've known before in my dreams. That man, that could have been my Prince Charming. No one else would have done. No, never. And as you do in many nights, by the fire, tucked in to your wheelchair, by your servants who are very gently caring for you and exchanging pleasantries as they pass you by through the different rooms in your home, they turn up the fire. Different era. They put another log on the fire, and the warmth curls you into its arms and sends you to sleep. All while this is happening, an entirely different experience is being had from a different person, in a different perspective. A man by a large stone gate stands very tall and true, very proud of his station, very alert. This gate that he has guarded for a very long time begins to quake. He turns around behind him to see that there are cracks forming where before there were none. A darkness seems to slip through the cracks where moss has not had time yet to grow like in the other areas of the stone walls. This is different. This is new. The landscape around you sometimes changes, but this is different. The landscape is changing far more violently. You feel shaken to your feet. No, to your knees. There we go. Those are the body parts. You feel shaken to your knees. You fall to your knees and look behind you to see a large split forming in the door that you so very vigilantly guard. As this occurs, a large piece of stone from the wall seems to fly towards you, but for just a second, you think that something pushed it. Something dark. Something that feels very sinister. And it hits you in the head. An old man in a hospital bed suddenly scoffs for air. His eyes roll probably into the first appearance of lucidity that they've had in a very, very long time. You look around you, unaware of where you are. You've had this dream before. You don't like this dream. This is not a happy dream. This is your worst nightmare. But the person who comes to your bedside seems familiar. It seems like you've met where the gate is before. He extends his hand out to you. his star eyes shining at you as he smiles and reassures you that all will be fine. Take my hand and sleep. And so you do. Now,
I'm in. I'm so in.
all of you wake around a very large table. Not unlike this one. It's more wooden and round at the edges, but it's lengthy, similar to this one. All of you have very throne-like chairs that you are sitting in. And you don't quite look like what you looked like a moment ago. You do not look, however, unfamiliar to you. You've had dreams of this before. In the wildest, most interesting dreams that you've had, you recognize this. You recognize yourselves. This isn't that strange, except that it is. There are several large portraits around the room, 7 to be exact, and each of them shows a very different kind of person, painted in elaborate oils, very beautifully, very realistically painted. You feel comfortable, you feel safe. Now I would like for you to describe yourselves as you are in this existence. Yours returns as it was. I will start with you.
Okay. So a man sits at the table. He has a dark robe on with a hood, but the hood is pulled back enough you can see his full face. He looks to be... He's kind of got one of those faces where you can't always tell how old they are. They could be middle-aged, they could be older. It falls right in that weird middle ground. And in his hand, he holds a staff made of amber.
You see an entirely clockwork man sitting there, wearing a suit coat, suit pants, and a vest. He's got a faceplate with just 2 eyes, no mouth or anything like that, and one of the eyes is just a clock. And off to the side, there's a little magnifying glass on the side. And his hair, as it goes back, are pocket watch chains. And then and in the back, there are little pocket watches on the back. And just like pocket watches everywhere within the coat.
Excellent.
So at the table sits a very tall woman. She's just under 6 feet tall. And very regal looking. Holds herself as you might expect royalty to. She's a high elf. And she has long, dark, straight hair, very piercing green eyes. She's wearing very, very shiny metal armor. And she carries a shield that has something that's obviously some sort of royal crest on the outside of it, but not one that anybody would be familiar with. She also has a very regal-looking cloak that comes off of her back.
Excellent.
A large man, bulky of arm and leg, sits, a caplet hanging over one arm. Across his back, sitting sort of awkwardly across the armrests of his throne, his chair, and sticking far, far above his head is a large glaive, bladed weapon. From the waist down, this just looks like a man who works out. From the waist up, this man is covered in dark gray fur. His arms, the size of small barrels, tankards as they were. His head is misshapen. It lies somewhere between a man and a bull. From his head grow 2 black horns. As white as ivory can be, these are black. His eyes, a dark, dark red.
Lounging in her chair, and by lounging I mean literally laying across the chair with her feet over the arms, tail twitching, as she's sitting there knitting, is a 6'1", very tall, very lithe, calico-colored tabaxi. She is wearing a long, sort of mundane, very ascetic, very plain robe, underneath which you can actually see a very simple horn-hilted dagger at her belt. And she has a splash of white at her chest and at her wrists, very reminiscent of sort of lace.
I like it. All right, so for a brief moment, you are all sitting here in relative silence, taking in this area. Is there anything specific that you would like to briefly do?
Click, click, click.
Knitter, okay.
One.
All right then. I would like for everyone to roll me a perception check.
The first roll of the die. The first
Oh,
roll
you
of
were
the
gonna
die.
say initiative.
No.
It's going to be a good campaign.
Oh, has it changed now that you've actually shifted positions?
Yes, natural
Excellent.
20 with a plus 8.
19.
19, okay.
Natural 20.
Okay, so my dice need bewitchment.
20, unnatural 20.
Wow, okay.
It's gonna be a good campaign.
10.
Okay.
And some things never change.
Sorry.
So
It is what it is.
this is going to be a surprise to you. It's going to be a little surprising to everybody else just how it happens. To you, this same guy that you saw in the alleyway just appears at the head of the table. He is in very kind of Victorian era garb. And he just, out of nowhere, to Stephen. To the rest of you, one of the paintings seems to, shortly before that happens, seems to ever so slightly glow as a mist pulls its way out, leaving an empty landscape in the painting, and the person who was standing in the painting now currently standing in front of you. Even those of you who did not see him closely in this last few moments, actually, I guess all of you did, didn't you? You did not. He seems very familiar. Like, there's something a little unsettling about him, but also comforting. Kind of like that whole devil you know feeling. Like, it's a discomfort you're comfortable with because you know it. And you don't feel like you are being threatened. You feel like you are being welcomed. He stands before you in his very elaborate couture. And you see those same star eyes. This is unlike anything you guys have ever seen before in real life. And if you look too closely at them, it feels like you could just fall into them. He stands before you all and looks at you and smiles. Hello. I find a need that I believe all of you are uniquely equipped to assist me with. You might notice that some things are a little different about yourselves than what you might remember. Roll me... roll me wisdom checks. I'll just say that. Just straight up wisdom check.
Do I?
19 again.
21.
Wisdom 20 unnatural.
19. Wait, no.
Wisdom's plus
22.
six, whatever you want.
Nice. Excellent.
Your wisdom is plus 0,
Wait. I'd just like to
Remind
mention
everyone.
that my husband helped me write up my character sheet.
You're
While
still
I was
finding
gone
stuff.
today.
It's fine.
Get my-
It's fine.
Your wisdom is...
It was a check, not a save.
Then why did you put 7 here?
That's your saving throw.
That's your save, not your check.
Yeah, you're not having to save it. This is a you noticing something, but it's a different
Feel
thing
like
to
that's
notice.
Wrong, but 11 then. Never mind.
Okay. Actually, that kind of works for your character because you're so similar anyway. You're not completely sure what he's talking about because you look like you, man. Now, the rest of these freaks, I don't know. But you look like you. The rest of you can look at each other and yourselves just and realize, wait, yeah, like this isn't uncomfortable. I know what this form is, but this is not me. I owe you an explanation. And first, as a part of that explanation, I would like to welcome you to the dreaming. This is my realm. I am the king of dreams. And I find myself in a rare and unique position to need a very specific kind of help that I think you will all find would benefit the world to which you are accustomed. You see, I have a very special relationship with the youngest member of my family. Seeing your face, he goes, not like that. But I look after her. Or at least I always have. And now I find that my capacity to do so has been limited. And this means something very particular for your world, I am finding. At first, I perhaps thought that it was a mere temper tantrum. But this is something different. Her world, which she controls much as I control this one, is beginning to find its way into yours. And this won't do. You, few, along with some others that I've already sent, have the unique capacity to walk the line between my world and hers freely, without her permission or consent, because you have a direct connection to her. I need to find what is happening to my youngest sister. And I need to set right the things that are currently happening in her world. And he looks to you very knowingly. The more he talks, the more you realize, yeah, you've met him before. Several times. Just not for long periods at a time. I'm sure that this has given you a multitude of questions. I am willing to answer any to the best of my ability before sending you into her realm. I might give you as much information as I can think to, but honestly, I am far enough removed from you that I'm unaware of what information you need. Beyond guesses.
What do you mean that we have a connection to her realm? And what is her realm?
That's very fair. You see, each of my siblings and I are wave functions. We are something that you experience in a day-to-day basis, or some of you. Not everyone experiences me. Certainly no one experiences me in the same way. But some of us are things that everyone must experience. My eldest brother, the oldest of my siblings, is fate. All of us have a fate. From that fate, the fact that fate and destiny must exist requires the difference between life and death. He gestures to a picture. My oldest sister, death, exists because fate does. Where there is life and death, there is need for understanding of what to do, and what is that without imagination, which is where I come in. I delineate the differences between reality and imagination. This is my world, informed by your minds. I don't exist without you, but the fact that fate and life and death exist necessitates me. On down the line through my siblings, we find my youngest sister, who was once delight, but has been warped into something else. What was once delight has become derangement. This is neither good nor bad, but madness, if you will, is her world and her realm. There is a balance between the good and bad, as you have experienced. Some things within madness are beyond your wildest dreams wonderful. They're so amazing and creative that the things I create within minds that are willing to accept their own creativity can hardly touch that of what her world holds. But with that also comes the darker half of that equation. Things that are so twisted and so incredibly dark that normal imaginings can't go there. For whatever the reason, each of you possesses an ability to slide into this space which she holds. My job is not to judge why, or to even understand why. Theories, perhaps, but they don't matter to why I am here, asking you for help. I perhaps made a mistake. See, human traits for wave functions becomes something that is inevitable to absorb. You exist because I exist, but parts of me exist because you exist. It's an interesting balancing act. My imagining that I needed to control her allowed me to create a space for her that I thought would help contain her influence over the world that you live in, fearing that it could be very destructive. I created a space that was filled with the things that she imagined and she dreamed. This is her space, her world, and from a small seed that I gave her, she created an entire tree. Branches, roots, leaves. What started as a small thing became a huge space. Her space. She used to allow me in freely. Now she has shut me out. But she is slowly beginning to corrupt the barrier, for some reason, between our world, your world, and her own. One year and 8 days. Go to Poser. Awesome. I will be sending you into this land through a gate that has been long guarded by my friend Janice. He gestures. This is not a close enough relationship that you would usually consider him a friend, but he's a wave function.
He does what he wants.
How will we know her?
He looks at the painting of her, and what you see is strangely out of place. We would know it today as being a very anachronistic, there we go, representation. Part of her head is shaved. The other part is strangely colored. She's got a very large blue eye and a very large green eye. And she's dressed in something that looks kind of, in player language, Gothic street urchin current day? It's real weird for you guys.
Alright.
She very often appears in different forms, but her eyes are always the same. And you will feel her long before you actually see her. That moment where you're not completely sure if you're dreaming or if you're awake, that's me. But that moment where you're not completely sure whether you're sane or whether you've succumbed to something much darker, that's her. Her whole world has moments of that. The closer you near to her, the stronger it will become. Because of how she operates, you will be tested. The things that connect you to her might also be very detrimental to you. Be aware. Are there other questions that I can answer for you?
Surely there's others that have a connection to her world. Why us?
I see a potential in your dreams. I've seen what you dream. I've seen what all of you've dreamed. And your dreams in your life are tied very interestingly to one another, we'll say. But because I've seen each of you in your dreams, I know what power lies within your subconscious. I've sensed it in others as well. And some of them I've reached out to. My world doesn't know the limits of time, the boundaries of place. You might find others like you scattered here and there. I've tested with a few, but I've not heard. I cannot seem to contact them past where I inserted them when the barrier was weaker between me and my sister. Because of your strength, because of your courage to a degree in the circumstances I've seen, and because of the things that make your minds tick, I believe you uniquely qualified to perhaps survive this, even if she has turned her world into a terribly dark place. You are all very, very powerful in your own right. And you will enter her world as you are now.
Would you say that you and your sister were close before, you said,
Very.
but that she has shut you away?
Yes.
Do you know why?
There is something coincidental in this timing that might not be so coincidental. I was captured once by someone wishing to capture my sister. He gestures to death. In this time, this captor had a desire to cheat death, to control death. What they got was me. With much time and a significant amount of damage to the world that you would experience, this was able to be set right, we shall say. However, again, as I have said in the past, wave functions can be altered by the minds that they affect. In something that would appear to human eyes as being an act of retaliation, I sentenced my captor and his son to eternal waking.
And that would be...
Have you ever had... Actually, I know that you have. You remember sometimes in your nightmares, when you start awake right as the worst thing you can possibly imagine happens, saving you in the nick of time from the most terrible fate that line of consciousness might push you towards. Imagine that over and over and over in all the different scenarios that might involve forever. It was an action that I cannot say that I am proud of, but I cannot say that I regret. But he has escaped from his captivity. I suspect, and this is one of the areas where foresight might have been a good thing, I suspect that the madness grew so much that he became more a part of her world than he did mine, and thus fell out of my ability to reasonably control him. As I've said before, I'm not proud of this. I also don't believe in coincidence. There is a possibility that there is something else at hand. If I were to judge based upon what I can tell you, I would say that he has something to do with it.
Do you still have his son?
He took his son with him. As one would expect.
Yes. Family ties are very important.
My sister would never intentionally harm anyone. However, these two have and would. And she is very impressionable, as I'm sure you might guess, of something like madness. Will you accept?
Yes.
Sure.
Excellent.
Of course.
Do you have any other questions before I reinsert you? Well, reinsert you. Insert you guys for the first time. Do you have any other questions for me?
How far to get there?
Distance in her world has a finicky way of self-editing, depending on the circumstance.
Time as well?
Very much so.
The man made of clocks is uncomfortable with this.
There will be times that things seem to work as expected. There will be times that they do not. There are spaces that can self-correct or self-obliterate as necessary. So I could say a matter of 200 to 300 miles to where I know her lair is, or where her keep is. Lair is a word she does not like, but I do. But it could differ.
A long journey then.
Possibly.
Well, before we go, I would like to know who all the rest of you are. Before we go on this dangerous journey together.
That's really excellent, yes. Meet each other, he sits back.
Or you can call me Emmy, my dear.
I'm sorry, what?
Emmy?
Emmy?
Mhm.
Pleasure to meet you.
I'm sure.
Henry.
Henry. Emmy.
I'm called Janice.
Janice.
Every time you hear that,
I
I
know.
see the one from
I know.
Monsters Inc. and it's great.
I am Claudius.
Claudius. I am Elaine. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, I'm sure. Hopefully.
Well, now we all know each other.
Most excellent. Would you request any other information from one another before beginning your journey?
What can each of you do? I can see you've got a giant grave. The rest of you? Just knitting
I
your-
can knit.
And it goes right by your ear.
Oh, nice.
Be a dear and grab that for me. I'm gonna need that.
It flings itself back at you from one of the portraits.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what you're looking for here. I can kill things.
Perhaps how would be a question he would.
Sure. That's a good idea.
I can kill things with my sword.
Oh, that's awesome. And my other things.
If you all stay near me, you have some advantages being within close range of me.
Anything I can imagine.
That's good to know.
And yourself?
Oh, I can summon things. For example, can I summon a teacup?
Oh, lovely. I do so need a cup of tea at the moment.
There's
There it is.
nothing in it, but and it goes away.
Griffey, add that quote. I can kill things with my sword. I also like the summon a teacup. Somebody throw those in.
I can summon little things and bigger things.
You can summon little things and bigger
And
things.
teleport.
Those little things become bigger things.
Depending on what I cast, yes.
I love you guys. You make me smile. Any other questions of me or of each other? Well then, we shall go as far as I can go, as far as I can take you. And you can start them off with the rest. There are others along the way that will be able to assist in your path, that will know some of the landscape of her mind differently than you do. All right. If you will follow me. He stands and strides towards his portrait.
I just stand unimpressively.
Stand
I mean, I
unimpressed.
kind of imagine clinking noises.
No,
No? No clinking noises?
I'm a very quiet person.
He's got a lot of WD-40. He's got like a whole set.
If you listen closely, though, you can hear a.
No, there's several.
But no thump thump. Thump thump.
There's the thump thump.
If you wait till the hour.
It's once an hour.
No.
Could be worse. It could be every quarter hour.
Oh, true. So he steps through his portrait and then sticks a hand out and gestures for all of you guys to follow. Before you take part in that, everybody roll me a perception check. I just want to see if anybody catches this.
14.
14.
21.
21.
21.
Wow. All three of you are not totally sure, but you think that the portrait of death turns its face to look at you.
Ominous.
And as you step through the portrait,
Don't step through. I'm gonna jump through.
you feel like you have just jumped the most ridiculous jump of your entire cat life.
Sail.
It's
You've
very
peaked.
sail.
You can never get any better. You've peaked. It's all downhill.
This is a peak cat jump for you. Like you feel your navel turn inside out as you catapult through space and time. It's pretty intense. All of the rest of you kind of get your own versions of that, a little less sail-y. And you feel as though you are flying, but being pulled, but safely. It's kind of a really cool feeling. But as you land, make me a con save. Think high thoughts.
21.
11.
Oh, that's a
16.
16. Okay.
19.
24.
Okay. Everyone above a 20, you land like superhero landing. It's pretty epic.
I've teleported before.
Yep. Well done. Well done. The rest of you throw up. However, yeah, hairball. Whatever. You thought you were done with that with Sploof. You managed to not be too overly affected for long term, but this is the first time you've traveled quite like that, and it did not sit well with your stomach. Same with those who did not do so hot. You don't feel great, but you're steady on your feet after the first couple of seconds. When you
Handkerchief.
when you stand to look, sorry.
Would you like a handkerchief? I'm just being
I don't
polite.
get that back.
No.
Oh, okay.
I guessed as much.
When you stand, you see a very familiar sight. This is the outside of your gate. On the other side, you know to be the village. Past that, going any farther, you would have to cross through the areas you are familiar with. So you notice right away that the gate is more fractured than when you left. And the shores that it is positioned on seem to slowly be turning red. You are outside of the gate, outside of the town. The King of Dreams stands with you. This is as far as I can go. And even now I feel that my presence is not effective in this space as it is in others. Janice can take you inside. There will be friends along the way that can guide you, or help to guide you. Many of the creatures here are... Thank you. Many of the creatures here have been good and interesting allies. What is happening to them outside of where I can see now, I cannot say. Be well, my friends, and good luck. If ever you need, I can be summoned on this shore for now. He extends his hand.
I just nod.
The howl reminded me of something, and I started looking through my pockets as he's talking.
he kind of eyebrows up at you. Be well, friends. And he starts to kind of just fade from existence.
Oh, bye. Oh.
He can be summoned from the sands right now, so if you needed to give him something.
It's fine.
Okay.
I was gonna say bye, but I missed him.
Oh, you see this hand. It just kind of waves. It's a little bit of a jellyfish wave. And you
Well.
stand. Yes.
So you're our guy.
I'm gonna walk up to the gates and tap my staff against them and have them swing open.
You notice that it doesn't happen as readily as it used to, but it still happens. It's a little creakier, a little more temperamental, but it still happens. You enter in.
I found it.
Oh.
You give me a second. I blow a whistle Come here, Figaro. And I cast Mordenkainen's Faithful Hound.
Yay!
Morgan kind of had a lot of things.
He was a
So
very
does that
prolific.
show up as an actual spectral hound?
Only to me.
Oh, okay, so he's invisible otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Oh,
I am now mattily talking to a dog.
in my brain, this is like the what's 0?
Mhm,
Yeah.
Okay.
You have this little 0 that only you can see.
Yep. Looking up a fourth
I
level
love
spell
it.
slot.
I go ahead and draw my glaive and sort of use it as a walking stick as we proceed.
Excellent.
So that lasts for 8 hours, by the way.
8 hours?
Yes.
Excellent. Very, very nice.
And it can see invisible. It has. It can see invisibility and see into the ethereal plane.
That's cool.
So it's just a watchdog.
That's
And it ignores illusions.
well played, Braden. That's going to be very useful, possibly very soon. But not
So I just
completely
stand there-
immediately.
Kneel down and start petting a dog.
Oh, you're one of those.
Oh, he's a dog
You're
person.
a dog person.
Yep. Well done.
Yes,
well
this
done.
is Figaro. I point to nothing.
I'm just gonna turn and follow him. And if I say Giannis, I'm sorry. Because that's what's in my head, but I will follow
It's
Janice.
better than what's in
I'll
my
just tell
head.
Figaro to.
Janice.
I'll just tell Figaro to just like keep an eye out.
How does he respond to the cat? Is he well trained?
Yes.
Okay, good. Excellent.
Also, just so you are aware, I have taken the alert feat, so I cannot be surprised while conscious.
Also, very handy. You guys done good playing, yo.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys enter in.
Hey,
Woohoo!
Come back soon.
Come back safely.
Yes, come back safely.
Both of those
That's
things.
true. Safely, preferably to soon.
Yes, because soon
Yeah.
Could mean not
be
safely.
a bad way.
Yes, yes. Safely first.
Safely first, soon.
Soon
second.
is a second priority.
There you go.
Yes. So you enter into the town of Foretrust, which you are familiar with. These are the people that you are most comfortable with. You tend to not sleep like a normal human, so there aren't many other gatekeepers. Every now and then someone will give you a reprieve.
Mhm.
But you're more outside the gate than you are inside. You're still very familiar with this town. There is a market, a line of market vendors, just open air. There are huts that appear to be earthen built with essentially thatch roofs. But the thatch is kind of different. It's still very live. It looks like live plants, not dried up things. So essentially cob with live thatch on top for homes, and it's not a big community, so there's not really an inn to speak of, but you can tell like there's a place where you would be able to find beverages, and there might be some space in the back that they let random people come into, but you gather they're not accustomed to a lot of guests here. So there are a couple of people in their little huts that are hawking their wares, and they're really strange things that you are not accustomed to seeing at all. Kind of informs you of the world. There is one guy who specializes in dragon glass. So different things encased in... They're encased in glass, but it looks like, in a way that looks like the glass was blown over the top of them. Sometimes these are dark and really creepy things, like maybe a hand, but a lot of them are just items. There's a place that is selling toads on sticks, a little food vendor, little street food thing. There are several different types of
Are
things.
the toads alive?
Some of them are, some of them are not. It seems to cater to a variety of interests and how dead you want your food.
So something I maybe should have asked pre-game. My real-world analog is destitute.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have the funds that our character creation would normally allot?
Yes, but you might find out it doesn't really matter. People like shiny things here, but money is something that's a little
Fair enough.
So you might have shinies. You might also be able to barter other stuff. So if you are accustomed to anything you do being more barter based anyway because you don't have funds, which, while not as much an Edwardian thing, if we were talking Middle Ages or anything like that, that's pretty much how economy functioned with the
Right.
lower classes anyway, so you might have already experienced that in your own class amongst friends. So that might be how you're accustomed to doing business anyway. You can attempt a multitude of ways of doing business and see how that goes. You might also just want to get through here so you can get this over with. It just kind of depends on what you want. There's not a lot other than just seeing little shops and things like that. There are locals walking through. They're kind of giving you side eye, but you gather it's not because they don't approve of your presence. It's that they're very confused by your presence.
One thing real quick. Is anyone selling, like, I don't know, like, a dozen wooden toy soldiers?
That is a weirdly specific request. There is a woodworker in town, though. Like, you are on the line of a forest. He does not have
That's
ready-made that,
That's fine.
but he could probably create that.
No, it's fine. I just wonder.
You do see he has a number of toys. They're just, you might have a toy soldier, but it's not.
Can I get 10 toys?
You would have to come back for them. But you could.
Okay, he hasn't made them. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
No, if it's not made, then I won't bother.
Okay.
So anybody who's paying particular attention and has a fairly high wisdom might see fingers twitching towards anything that looks like food. They don't. Claudius visibly restrains himself from just taking things. But he then would probably pull out some of his dice, and upon passing some of these frogs on sticks, he'll lean over and say, "I'll play a game of dice for one of these. Winner takes the toad."
So, the person that you see behind the cloak as you get closer to him is, weirdly, a large lizard folk that looks at you with this gleam in his eye. You gather that gambling is kind of a thing that appeals to him. And I'm not sure that he could help but say yes. That sounds like an excellent idea. D20 or you roll a
However you want to do it.
Roll me a 20, high or low.
Low.
Very well. What'd you get?
11.
18. Unshockingly, you win a toad on a stick.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I look forward to a rematch.
Indeed. Always pick low.
Live or dead?
What's that?
Live
Yes,
or
he,
dead?
He kind
Dead.
of gestures.
And I'll pull I've got a long dirk. It's a large dagger. And I'll pull that from my belt and begin shaving off pieces. And sort of just rubbing them between my fingers of the skin. And then I'm going to keep it with us until I can find a fire to roast it at. But I'm just shaving off skin in the meantime.
The lizard folk kind of looks at you very curiously. You can tell that this is a very different thing for him to witness.
Shall we continue?
Yeah, we should probably go.
Janice?
Such a quaint little village.
The same fellow that lost to him just now. Janice, it's been a moment since I've seen you on this side of the gate.
My duties have required me to be elsewhere.
Oh, you've had commands then? From the Queen?
No.
Not from the Queen. Good.
Why would that be good?
The woods whisper. They say that she's not what she once was.
What do they say she is now?
A victim of the shadows. Whatever that means.
Interesting. Thank you.
Of course. Do you need provisions for your quest? Shaven a frog, shaven a frog.
I don't require food, so I'm good on that.
You don't require food. Interesting.
I'll be
Look
back in
down
a
in my
second.
pouch.
I'm just.
I've got a bit, my dear.
Very well.
How much for that toy soldier, by the way?
Oh, that would be a different person.
As I walk over.
You see a small kind of goblinoid-looking fellow, who's just carving away at the wood. Toy soldier.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, you see, I don't have much need for money, but, what could you offer me?
Do you want
A dog.
An invisible dog!
a pocket watch?
Ooh.
Let me see the pocket watch.
Proceeds to take off his left ear.
I just pull just a random pocket watch out of my pocket. I have hundreds of pocket watches.
Pocket watch.
I like that very much. I think that this is a worthwhile trade, and it's shiny. I like shiny. Pieces of this might complement woodwork quite well, in fact.
Yes.
Very well. Very well.
Proceeds to smash
It's
it.
yours.
Pretty much, you turn around and he kind of smashes it so that he can start
Nice.
piecing together things.
I have hundreds of more.
It's a squirrely place.
Yeah.
People seem generally nice, but it's a squirrely place.
Janice. I don't really know where you fit in here.
I guard the gate.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is not where we're from.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, the King of Dreams clearly stated that we came from somewhere else. We're all different here. But you seem to have been here for a while,
Yes.
guarding a gate. Against what?
Well, to keep out those who don't belong here.
Yes, who doesn't belong?
Oh, it seems you've done a smashing good job.
So I'm just gonna look around. So Janice just sort of
This
looks
is where
around.
death starts happening.
You've entered the realm of madness. I thought that was made clear to you. If you're not mad, you don't belong here.
Scritchy DM causing identity crisis. One day, I'm gonna have to have a counter now.
So I guard the gate to keep out those who don't belong here.
And the queen that you were speaking of just then, that's Delight?
No, what did you say was the Black Queen? Yeah?
The Red Queen.
The Red Queen. That's the Red Queen.
Oh, you would also know the Red Queen is one of three sisters.
Yeah.
Okay, couldn't remember if I told
I
you
remember that part. I just couldn't
Why
remember
would
which
we know that?
one.
Yes, he would know that. You guys don't.
The Red Queen.
The Red
I
Queen.
come back with my toy soldier and just put it in a pocket.
Who's the Red Queen?
Well, what was this? Sorry, there's a lot of I can't remember what I was told. What was this? This quarter of the.
So the part that you are most familiar with, while there is an extension that you are like semi-familiar with, where you are right now is right next to. It's really slight. I'm not sure you can
It's
see
fine.
it. The Maze of Regerts, which is right kind of next to.
Regurgitation.
It's right next to the Neverland Plains.
Okay. Hurts.
Your Red Queen would be here, and this is the queen that you are most familiar with. From the stories, you know that they are all kind of mutually agreed that the queens will help protect the land
Okay.
and keep balance
Okay.
between the good mad and the bad mad.
Okay.
That's a really, really soft drawing, sorry.
It's fine.
I started darkening everything and then I abandoned ship halfway through because I got busy.
So should we?
The Queen rules over the Neverland Plains and the Maze of Regret.
That sounds
Right.
like fun.
Right.
Okay.
So where do we go from here?
Into the maze.
Okay. Fun.
I regretfully agree.
Excellent, excellent.
Are you leading the?
Yeah, I presume I lead everyone to the entrance to the maze.
Yes, unless you need to do any more exploring in the town, which is a pretty small town, so.
I mean, if we have a minute, I would take out some tinder and just go ahead and cook up at least the outside of the frog, enough to cut more strips.
You're just like making a fire in the middle of town.
Just in the middle of the street.
There aren't vehicles or anything like that, so like passersby just kind of give you a wide berth and look at you funny, but they don't seem to be that put off by it. They're just confused. You get the impression they've seen weirder.
I can imagine they have.
So yeah, if you have time, you can cook a frog. It's a big frog too, so it's actually relatively satisfying. Like,
Perfect.
Tastes like chicken.
Really greasy chicken, though.
Really,
Yes.
really juicy chicken.
Greasy,
Will they get anyone?
chicken.
In this form, I don't need to eat. Kind of a bonus.
DM takes chicken.
I have chicken
I'll
at home.
try it.
Avoid. There's 3 bones specifically. Just avoid those.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Shall I be off?
Sure.
Nice. So on the outskirts of town, on the other side, where you know the maze to start, there is a large twisted framework that kind of looks like it just enters into this huge hedge maze. And that is where you begin. So the maze kind of protects the town. The townspeople are under the impression that the maze protects the town from outside influences. And you already know the things you know about the maze. As you walk in, you begin to notice more and more that things go from looking like large hedges to overhanging trees, like a large canopy. And the farther you go in, the darker and darker things become on the insides. It's getting to the point that you might actually benefit from torch. It's not really required, but you could see how, like, if it gets too dark with you in here, it would be kind of hard to see what's going on in a hurry, like well before daylight actually fades from the sky, because there's just such a dense canopy.
Do we need to do some light?
vision.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that I
unless
was
you have
gonna
dark
say. Who does anyone
Yeah,
not
who-
have dark vision?
I don't think I do actually.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
don't know how minotaurs work.
You don't?
Let me double check.
Okay.
But I don't believe I
Yeah,
do.
if you're a high
If
elf,
you're
you
an
do.
elf, you
Yeah.
should.
Yeah, I just
You do.
do I have just
60 foot, yeah.
So, I know, do you? Okay, so
I don't think.
three of us do.
So if you want light, you can do something light-like, or you can pull essentially an origin story sploof and tie yourself to the rest of the characters. Whatever you want to do.
Am I alright to do some light?
Yes.
Okay. I'll wrap a
I do not.
pocket watch around my hand, and I will cast light on my pocket watch.
Excellent. You now have a very, very brightly glowing pocket watch. And
It
it's
casts
on.
really good light, except for the parts that are covered up by the hands and the numbers on the.
Yes, there's
Yeah.
this strange shadow of hands that go through
the
this.
light's always moving.
wall.
That's really awful.
As long as you don't have a second hand, it's probably relatively subtle. If it's a second hand, might be bad for people with epilepsy.
Strobe. And you've just invented the strobe light. Congratulations.
We start a rave inside the maze.
Yes.
It's a little fast. It's once every second.
Do.
The slowest rave you've ever been
Yep.
to.
So you've been on a path that's been relatively straight thus far. You come to a crossroads where there are 3 different paths that are before you. There's one that continues forward. There is one, and it looks pretty much the same as what you are currently in. There is one that veers left, and it looks as though it's kind of becoming a little bit more fungal in nature. And there's another one that seems really infested by insects. Lots of stuff happening.
Janice,
Choose a path.
I assume we all go down the same path.
That would be preferable, yes.
does it not matter which path we go down?
No.
So,
All roads lead somewhere.
Oh my gosh, you're the Cheshire cat.
They do. It does depend where we're trying to go.
Oh my gosh, you actually are.
I love it! Bingo! Split up and see who comes out in the end. Nova!
Oh, Nova.
So,
Always the bad
yeah.
ideas.
fungus, insects, and the other path.
Do they all go where we're going?
Yes, every path you're walking on takes you where you're going.
I love the way you're playing this character. Thank you, Lance.
I'm just gonna keep walking down the one that looks like it's the same as the one we're on.
Works for me.
I will follow you down that path.
Alright, let's continue, I guess.
You wind a little bit down, and then you end up coming to one more fork. It looks about the same, but there is a left and a right.
No straight ahead.
No straight ahead. It's just a two-pronged fork.
I go left.
We go left.
Then
We'll go left.
Excellent.
This is great decision making, you guys.
Yep. So, as you continue down, you begin to hear something that sounds as though it's growling a bit.
is it invisible?
Oh, Brayden.
These are important questions.
Excuse me while I whip this thing out. So let's see here. Where'd it go?
Nope. Nope.
Thank you to anybody who likes blazing saddles. Okay.
I'm gonna enjoy this game.
So, you begin to feel this really interesting pull from your spirit that feels like you're becoming very sluggish. And as you enter this area, it's a little bit of an open area. You see a figure kind of hunched down beside a stream that's in front of you. Seems to be taking a drink. You're about 60 feet back from it at the moment. I apologize, guys. No maps tonight. There will be maps later. But there's a significant air of holy crap, that's creepy about whatever this figure is, and you can only see it from the backside. Very tattered clothes, very twisted limbs, from the best that you can tell.
Does this seem like one of the things?
Like one of the level...
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly.
Not? Okay.
No.
So I am winding my crossbow and dropping a bolt on. And then just sort of letting it sit.
I'm just watching
It would
Giannis.
probably be
His
beneficial to
reaction.
tell you, like, you have to cross this stream to get to the next...
I figured.
Yeah, I didn't actually say that out
I'm
loud.
just kind of watching Janice for what his reaction to this thing is.
Would this affect it? Would I know?
What do you
Should be
I
right
don't know
under-
if it still
should be
counts
right
as the
under the name
thing.
of the thing.
I don't know if this is actually counting as the same thing or not. Your call.
I'm gonna say sure.
Great.
Let's try
The
it
type
out.
of entity it is usually under the name of the thing.
Yeah, it's usually...
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it actually counts as that at this point in time or if it's different.
Because of these guys' backstories in this world, I'm gonna say it counts as both.
Sweet.
So, that makes sense.
In that case, I'm going to stealthily walk up to it.
Roll your stealth check.
Natural 20.
You sneak.
And
I'm
I'm...
watching Janice for his reaction, but you avoiding it.
Yep.
So I'm going to approach it, and as I do, I'm going to reach out to touch it, and a ripple goes out through the area, and everything, like, the breeze stops and everything comes to a complete calm standstill. And it has to make a wisdom saving throw.
It's not super high wisdom. Oh, but it got it at 20. He succeeds.
Nope. Roll it again.
Oh, that's a 4.
Yes!
You succeed.
Alright, so it is charmed, and I have a telepathic link with it.
Via your telepathic link, you feel deep turmoil. You are not affected by this, but you have very deep turmoil, and you can gather that it is... Destruction is a thing it takes comfort in, because it feels as though it is destroyed, and it's its way of garnering company.
Have they always been like this?
No.
Okay. I will ask it what else it has seen through the maze in recent times.
That'll be fun.
Yep.
So... you can...
DM whispers,
Secrets don't
DM
make
whispers.
D&D Beyond, ladies and gentlemen.
Loose lips sink ships.
Yes, they do.
You okay there, Brayden?
No, I'm fine. That was a laugh.
No.
No, I'm fine.
I feel like the premise of this game. No, I'm fine.
We're all a little mad here.
Some
My
of
character's
us.
having a problem with that. She doesn't think she's mad.
Who does?
No one ever does.
Some people do. I think some people realize it.
Yeah, but if you realize it, you're not as mad as you think you are. Yeah, I mean, doesn't mean you're not mad, but you definitely are not as mad as you think you are if you worry about it. Just saying.
My constant worry is that I'm mad and no one's told me.
Danny had that same fear.
Not necessarily madness, but like, I've always feared that I was like not as mentally capable as I assumed I was, and nobody was willing to let me know.
Yeah. I think you're a very, very smart man.
Oh, thank you. See, that doesn't help.
I know, it doesn't.
Like-
But it's the truth.
Well, thank
So,
you. I do my darndest.
alright.
Oh man, I've seen a lot of things.
So the Cheshire Cat, huh?
It was the original inspiration, yeah.
Nice.
But yeah.
I was like, I feel like this is fairly specific. So I don't know what you're doing.
All right. I'm going to gesture everybody else
Oh, we see
through
you
the
now?
clearing. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I wasn't hiding from you guys, just so it didn't hear me coming. And I'm just gonna walk.
Oh, by the way. That's
Creepy.
No,
Oh,
wrong one. That one.
Yeah, it's a Bodak.
Yeah, Bodak.
Okay. Oof.
But it's friendly to all of us, so I'm just gonna walk past.
Indeed. I'm going to use my glaive to sort of like bull jump a little bit over the water, trying to avoid getting enormously wet.
It almost seems like it's trying to be playful.
Alright, you dears, just leave it be. No. And I'm gonna hop across as best I can.
I think we just found the parents. in the group.
I'll go across, I guess.
He kind of sits cross-legged like a child.
About no.
I'm gonna.
So what was that?
Oh.
Do they have a name?
You have not seen this in here before. You've played around with this space before, and there are some dangerous things and whatnot. This is the first time you've seen that.
What was your question, Keith? Sorry.
What was it?
What was that?
Don't know.
Okay.
I'm gonna take one of the
Shall we
strips that I cut
continue?
off, just the skin, and sort of toss it over as well.
In a way that's very similar to what you remember from like handing kids food. You see him kind of like look like me. Wow. And you kind of just
Shall we?
Yep. We keep going.
he looks sad. So your next division comes up.
Yeah, I saw.
And you have another three-pronged path.
Do they differ in any way?
These do not know. It pretty much looks like the same blackish canopy.
Left?
Why not?
Sure.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No.
By all means.
Well, left would be taking us back the way we came.
Unless it doesn't.
From what he said, I don't think it actually matters which way we go.
Okay.
But I mean,
But if
Anybody
you'd like to make
pick
a
a
choice,
direction?
by all
No,
means.
no, it's fine.
okay, we'll go left again.
Okay.
So, you end up with this large space ahead of you, a little bit of a clearing in the trees. It's kind of lit by fireflies. If it weren't so dang creepy, it would actually be kind of pretty. You can hear sounds around you that are a little unsettling, and you can't completely figure out why, but it definitely sounds like there's whispering. And in front of you, you see, like, through this weird hedge, like, the sticks are so dense, you're not sure if you were to just barrel into the hedge, you're not sure how that would go for you. We'll put it that way. There is a gate in one of the hedges that is currently covered by a stone on a balance, on a scale. There is an empty part of the scale, and the other side of the scale is the stone. This thing is huge. This is like, 5 or 6 of you big. It's a very, very large thing
Like what,
that is
500
currently
pounds?
being weighed down.
Like a 500-pound rock.
I'd say probably closer to 1,000. It's about a 1,000-pound giant stone slab that is currently.
And it's blocking the gate.
Should we go back and try a different path?
No, they all lead here.
Is this where we've been going?
Well, this is where we arrived, so yes, this is where we've been going.
Is this the end of the maze?
No.
I'm going to have to be very specific with you, aren't I?
It's more fun this way.
I'm just gonna walk up to the rock and lift it.
Roll a strength check.
I mean, I believe I can lift it.
Weird flex, but okay, man.
Or 7.
Oh no. Oh no, no. No. So much no. It doesn't even budge. You break a nail though.
Do we need to move the slab?
Probably.
So
Whether you... No.
with that not working, I'm gonna scamper up onto the high side of the seesaw and just sit down.
It does not budge much.
That's okay.
Is there anything else in the little clearing?
There are a couple of things in the clearing. There are rocks. They're not nearly as big.
Of course not.
There are also, I mean, it is a clearing. There's dirt. There is, like, anything you would find on a forest floor, pretty much. Also possibly worth mentioning, not totally sure, but we'll find out. The areas around you are also very vine grown. So there are a lot of vines that are around and accessible to you.
Okay.
So we just need to move the rock, right?
I mean, maybe if we just moved it small enough that we could kind of crawl underneath and get to
But we
the...
have to open the door.
Is this thing, like...
Oh, does it swing outward?
Would you consider this thing to be huge?
There's the slab thing,
I
and then
forget
there's
how
a gate.
size delineations
So
work.
it's
Gate
tiny,
goes.
small,
Like
medium,
a portcullis?
large, and
No.
huge.
Probably
Gate.
huge. Yeah.
Okay.
You're looking between 800 and 1,000 pounds. This is
That's probably on the...
big old rock.
There's a larger than that, gargantuan scale.
I just need
With
to-
it being rock, size-wise, probably not, but weight-wise, yes.
So as a DM, would you say that this is considered huge, a huge object?
What context are you asking for?
A spell.
Like telekinesis?
Yeah.
Can I try something?
Sure.
Alright. I will take one of my pocket watches. I will swing it back and forth, snap, and I will animate object the stone.
And it's a rock, so I'm guessing.
It will turn it into a construct and I can mentally move it.
Yeah.
It will walk away from the path and we will continue.
So
Let me mark off
the stone is not on the path, right?
What's
like
that?
the stone is not blocking the path. There's a gate.
It is blocking the gate that you want to get through
Ah,
to
okay,
continue
okay.
the path. I'm sorry. Like, if teeter-totter scale,
Mm,
this
yeah,
is the
yeah,
door,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
rock's
We're
in front
good,
of the
we're
door.
good.
Yeah.
So I will animate object the stone and turn it into a large construct.
Brilliant! So, the rock, apparently to the rest of you, I don't know, is that one that you used verbal components very loudly
Yes.
for? Okay. Was it obvious to others, or was
Yes,
it kind
that
of
was-
quietly
yes.
to yourself?
No,
Okay,
it
never
was
mind.
obvious.
You can kind of figure out that it's him doing this. The rock sprouts weird little stony legs and starts waddling to the side. The whole apparatus just kind of goes.
Thank you, dear friend. Shall we go through now?
It bows and then
Yeah.
collapses. Still leaving your way clear.
And I'm gonna go open the gate and continue through.
Yep, yes you do.
I will hop down and continue with my.
I don't think you hop down. I think you fall.
That depends
You-
on how, like,
You are the only thing
You-
on that.
you're pretty high up in the
You're
air.
one side of the teeter-totter.
It's a pretty big teeter-totter. Do you have, like, tabaxi rules? Do you have super...
I'm fine.
Okay.
Slow fall.
Slow fall.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
slow
okay,
fall.
yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
Slow fall, acrobatics, name it. Yeah, I'm fine.
There's this fun little...
land on all fours.
Yep.
Twitch my tail.
Yep,
Stand
yep,
up
yep.
and follow my friends.
Do we close it behind us?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And we will shall continue. Love that spell.
Very nice, very nice.
Nicely done.
I was very nicely done.
That's a neat trick.
It's nice to
So-
control things in here when you can't control your actual life, so.
Continuing forward.
Say things like that.
I feel that on a real deep level.
And I wish I had inspiration to give you.
I missed the actual comment.
It's nice to control things in this world and instead of not being able to control in the actual world.
Fair enough.
That's very deep.
Very nice. Very nice.
And I'll just have Fido just continually checking around. When anything invisible is within 30 feet, it starts sparking, so just as a side note.
Occasionally, you get barks.
Do we hear them or just you?
That's a fair question.
I think we all hear them.
Okay, that's
'Cause-
hilarious.
That would make a whole lot more sense than
I'm
like.
gonna be watching for him to make these barking noises like this is fake.
He's just ventriloquism like. No,
What?
that's totally
I
not.
guess
I
it
don't
just
know.
does say. I guess it does just barks loudly.
So yep.
That's awesome. So yeah, you randomly hear every now and then you'll hear this. And then, like, it'll growl for a second and then it'll quiet back down and you'd hear this little.
Well, alright then.
So occasionally you get that.
Hmm.
Okay.
But nothing has sustained.
How long have we been going so far?
I'd say probably you've been in this maze, say a couple hours.
I've only got 8 hours on him, so.
Gotcha. So as you move forward, you have another decision to make. You have a turn that is either left or right. The right side takes you more into the fungal area, mycinial.
Oh, myconids.
Yeah, however one would actually say that in that particular word form. Yeah, it's a little fungal, little interesting. And the other is kind of more same old what you're accustomed to so far.
Anyone have a preference?
Did my did the Bodark, were the other things, was there a correlation between the landscape and the things he saw?
Oh, no,
No, okay.
you didn't identify that. Also, I forgot to have you guys roll something real quick. For that last one, roll me a wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
Before we do this,
Mhm.
since I assume I
That is
would
the
know when
third
these
17 I've
usually
rolled.
happen, I'm going to cast Beacon of Hope on everybody and give everybody advantage on their
Is
wisdom
it a-
save.
Nice.
Is it a wisdom save or a wisdom check?
Save.
It's a save.
Okay. Can't get better than that.
I don't know why I rolled it with you.
23. 23.
Nicely done.
I have very good wisdom.
Natural 20.
Very nicely done.
27.
Oh my gosh, what's wrong
18.
with you people? What?
18.
Okay.
23.
All of you make this one.
So you are a monk, so you have high wisdom. You're a paladin. How's your but you still have apparently pretty good wisdom. Oh, and you get your bonus, but you get the bonus to saves, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What's your wisdom?
I have a
Nice.
14 wisdom, so I have a plus 6 save.
Okay.
Very nice, very nice.
So wisdom is very good for me.
You would also know that the longer you've been here, the harder
The
this
harder
is
they
gonna
get. Yep. Okay.
Alright. So which way did we go? A mushroom or just regular? You were the guide, I guess. So
Pick a direction. It doesn't matter.
you're very helpful.
Thank you.
I mean,
Mushrooms
look
it is.
Interesting.
Yes.
Alright.
Sure.
Okay. So you go into the mushroom area, so that is going to be a right turn. You go into the mushroomal area.
Mushroom.
Yes,
Never
that's a
heard
word.
that
I
word
don't
before.
care. It's a word now.
Exploded the bone.
Roll a wisdom save is indeed always a fun statement. Welcome, Kilowebbit. So, as you venture farther into this tunnel of overarching, like you've still got the big canopy above you of these really big trees that are kind of oppressing you. You can start seeing that it's starting to get a little darker outside. It's not a huge deal right now. Still daylight. But these myconids are all around you. They seem relatively still for right now. And that's great. So,
That's great.
that's great.
I do prefer
As,
my mushrooms not to move.
Yes. Although some people preferred the frogs on sticks live, so it's
Yeah.
anybody's
Mushrooms
guess.
aren't supposed to.
Well, now that just depends on where you are, and that's profiling. Don't you tell that mushroom what it's not supposed to do. It can do what it wants, fool.
Apparently.
But as you continue going forward, you start to notice that there is a little bit more of a delirious scent in the air. Yes, it's a scent now. You come across another clearing, and in the middle of it stands a mirror. Before we do this next part, make me another wisdom save.
This is with advantage,
I don't
correct?
know why I keep rolling.
Yeah.
I'm so
Oh,
accustomed to being
natural
a
20.
player.
Yeah,
instead
everyone
of
still
being-
has
Still gets higher.
advantage.
Yeah, natural 20 on mine
Jeez.
for a 26.
21.
With advantage?
21.
Okay.
16.
Okay.
23.
Okay. We're taking this as a group thing. You two are feeling real rough, and that's going to impact you in a moment, but generally speaking, you're doing okay as a group. So, this mirror looks very interesting. It's gilded on the outside, seems incredibly out of place in this very moldy atmosphere. Everything is old. Everything seems like it has been here for a very long time. This mirror looks gilded and new and beautiful. And the reflections aren't quite right. There are also, on all of the walls of the forest, because this forest is very thick. You're talking back into the realm of, like, there are these massive hedges that are so tightly compacted. It's functionally a wall. There are places where you can tell it is intended to hang these.
Hang.
No, hang, I'm sorry, the mirror. Yeah, yeah. Hang this.
What do we see when we look in the mirror?
You guys just see yourselves. You two see yourselves looking back at yourselves. That's a convoluted statement if ever there was one.
Looking at yourselves.
Yes, you see yourselves looking at yourselves. Smiling as though you are ready to pounce.
I am the captain now.
Alright then.
I don't like this. Let's.
You probably shouldn't. You probably shouldn't.
Is there a gate here? Or no?
You get the distinct impression this would be one.
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
Is there, I'm gonna look behind the mirror.
It's just standing there on a stand. There's nothing behind it right now.
What do you imagine happens if we break it?
I don't know if we could.
There are places to hang it on the walls, right?
Yes.
That's what you said? And when I look in it, I just see a normal reflection, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna pick it up and go hang it on a random place on one of the walls.
Which wall?
North, south, east, or west?
Is there only one on each wall?
Yes.
Straight ahead.
The west one.
West wall. Okay. So you wanted straight ahead.
Well, I mean, I was just giving an example.
Direction is straight ahead. That might actually be. That is the west wall, actually.
Okay.
So that works. So
Good
straight
work.
ahead it is. West wall. So you go towards the west wall.
Here's
And-
Wonderwall.
Yep. Okay. So, as you hang it on the wall,
Yep.
your reflections
Yep.
immediately come out of the mirror
Yep.
and begin to attack you. Everyone, roll initiative.
Ah!
That's really unfortunate.
Okay. I want
Nope.
to do.
Huh.
No, you don't anymore. How that'll do?
It's not terrible, but it's not great.
Don't you have a +5?
No, I have a +10.
Oh, that's
To
right.
initiative?
Yes.
Alert feed.
Alert feet.
You can kind of tell that these are not exact U's.
Of
So,
That's
yeah.
a really freaking good thing for all of us.
Yeah. They are not good witches by any means, but they are not U's.
Are they sandwiches?
They might be sandwiches. You're not sure yet. You will have to kill them to find out.
Are you a good witch?
Oh,
Or a
this is
sandwich?
gonna be so good. I hope I go first.
Okay, so we've got.
Alert again.
What? 18.
Oh, me too.
Alright.
I
So you
probably
guys
have
are
a
all
higher
kind of
dex, so-
around this mirror as they come out. What are our initiatives?
20.
16.
How do you want to? Yeah. How do you
Are
want
you
to
a
do
dex?
initiatives? Are you doing it the same way Keith does, around the table, or do you want to do?
That's a good idea. Let's
Yes.
do that. Sorry, it's been a
Alright.
minute since I've done something where I've had to actually
can go
answer that
It's
question.
okay.
So let me jot that down first. Okay, what you got?
16.
16. Okay.
21.
21.
I got 18, but so did he. He's going first.
I got an 18 as well.
Okay, 18, 18.
18.
Oh.
What's your bonus to dex?
15.
What?
What's
Wait.
what's your dex?
20.
Okay, so you go first.
If we're going by dex.
If we're going by dex.
Unless
Or
you
we
want to
can
yield
choose,
it
I
to somebody
suppose.
else. Yeah.
I don't care. Like, you guys. Brayden seems like he's excited.
All right, so
He has
you
a
go
plan,
first,
so-
and I don't think we care when we go.
What's your dex?
Just let us know when it's our
18.
turn, and we'll let you know who's going first.
Okay then.
I have a +10 to my initiative, and I'm still going last.
Okay.
That is the way my dice roll.
Ooh.
To be fair, that's
You
usually
should let
how
me
my
go
dice roll,
before.
too.
So we start off with Stevens first.
Okay, so they've stepped out.
Yes, they are all within 5 feet of the mirror right now. You guys, I will say, unless you held back while he went and, yeah, then you're all within melee range at this point.
That's fine.
Unless any of you intentionally stepped back because you're squishy or anything like that.
Right, Miss Squishy?
Well, I have a low AC, but
To define squishy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking at it, does it have the same equipment that we do? Like, can I anticipate that its range is that me is gonna have the same range as me?
Range, probably.
Okay. Well, I'm going to step back, which will provoke an opportunity attack for everyone but the other me.
Okay, that's cool.
Because I have a 10-foot range normally, so.
Alrighty, so that's gonna be interesting. How many of these bad boys do I have to do this all at once? 1, 2, 3, 4, and oh, but one of them does not. Okay, so all of them except the you get opportunity attacks.
Right.
So you have, let's see. Does an 18 hit?
Yes.
Okay. Does a 15 hit?
No.
Okay. So 2 of the 4 are gonna hit. One of them is a natural 20.
Okay.
Ow.
Alright, so we've got...
Just so that after we've done damage for the ones that are hitting me, one of the ones that missed is gonna get a repost.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so... So you end up taking out of this the version of Elaine and the version of Janice managed to make contact with you really hard. His seems to be very interesting, like it almost makes it seem like the world bends around you and takes something from you. Hers is a little bit more straightforward. I hit you with my sword. So you end up having 12, 22, 28 total.
Okay.
Ow.
And one of them was a nat 20.
Oh.
So, yeah. And you... Okay, we provoked the opportunity attack.
Because I was backing up.
You were backing up. Okay. So that's pretty much that. And now it's their actual turns.
Oh.
Oh, wait.
oh, he just backed up.
Yeah, he's not done.
I was
Sorry,
just backing
yeah.
up a little bit.
We're not running away, you were backing up. Okay.
Yeah.
I know why.
Yeah.
So the repost is going to happen probably against your clone.
Good choice.
I assume that an 11 doesn't hit.
You would assume correctly on that.
Okay. We'll just leave that out because it's been used. Then I'm going to aiming at the clone of myself specifically.
Okay.
I'm going to swing my glaive.
Alright. It is... Go ahead. Sorry.
You're fine. 26 to hit.
That definitely hits.
I hope so.
That hits real good.
And 23 to hit.
That hits as well.
Okay. Excuse me. So on one of those, I'm also going to taunt. So it will need to make a wisdom saving throw, DC 17.
Okay. Let's see how it does. Yeah, that's gonna be a nope. That's an 8.
Okay. So I'll take an extra 4. D4, and then so that
It's
is.
this chair, isn't it?
I might need to get a new chair.
New chair,
I need a new
clearly.
DM throne.
No, keep it, Keith. I like it just the way it is.
So 14 points on the first hit.
And which
I'm
one
sorry,
is this?
14
Janice.
plus 5.
This is Janice.
No, this is
No,
against
this is
myself.
himself.
Oh, this is
Oh,
against you.
So
The
that's
opposed
actually
was against
19,
me.
sorry.
Oh, this one's, it looks like it's hurting.
Okay, and then the second hit is going to be 9 plus 5 is 14 points of damage.
Also in him.
Yes,
And you go down in front of you.
perfect. That's what I like to hear.
Yes, yes.
Going down in front of myself.
Going down in front of yourself.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Now it be they turn. Is that it for you?
Oh wait, I still have a bonus action. I
Aha!
have these written down for a reason.
Excellent.
Yep. And I'm going to use my bonus action for another swing with the back of my glaive. This one against, again, Janice's clone. Yes! With a natural 20.
Oof.
But it's not going to, it's a d4 because it's the back of my glaive.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's going to be, I think just 3 plus 5, so 8 points of damage.
He looks a little pissed off, but he's not bleeding too much. So we got, okay. And now it's they turn.
3 plus 5. So did you do your...
It's just, so it's a d4 plus my strength.
Yes, but did you do the extra damage for it being a critical?
Oh, I did not. No.
Oh.
So that would be plus another 4 to whatever that was.
It still helped. Okay.
I totally forgot that I rolled a 20. I never rolled them.
Good
So.
call. See, I just needed to step into the DM seat for a minute. Oh wait, there's one less of you now. Okay. Alright, so the Keith mirror, the cat lady, is going to take a shot at you because I can't confuse myself enough on this, apparently.
Okay.
So cat lady against you.
And that will be an opportunity attack.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Sentinel.
So I'll take care of that after the attack happens.
Nicely done. Okay, good call. So that's gonna be an unnatural 20. I assume that hits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Roll it out.
but is only gonna be 8 points of damage.
That hits.
Let's see. Oh my gosh. All of the rest of these rolled under 10. Pretty much nothing but air. Like, they're coming for you, they are missing at you. So,
Okay,
yes.
So the one that just swung does an 18 hit.
Yes.
Okay, so that will be 8 points of slashing damage.
And that's the one that just swung.
That hit, yeah, that was aiming at
Yeah, so that was my doppelganger.
And it does how much damage?
18.
8.
8? Oh, 8.
Nice
rolled
try.
real low.
Okay. So that takes that one
And
down
its
a little
movement
farther.
is now 0?
Yeah, its movement to 0. I mean, not that it was moving, but
Fair enough. Okay, so that's their turns, as ineffective as they were. Moving on, we have 3, 4, and 5 in initiative order. You guys get to fight for it.
You can go first, Brandon.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's right next? Who's next to me?
So the one that is
J,
closest to you
A,
will end up
N-U-S.
being her doppelganger over there.
Alright,
It's
sorry.
not a true
At the
doppelganger,
beginning of my
but
turn,
this
my
one.
hound will attack.
Ah, that's right. Your hound has an attack too.
Natural 20.
Wow!
And it's going to
Jeez.
take 48 damage.
Nice.
Gonna rip your throat out.
Very possibly.
32,
your throat just
40,
rips out.
50,
Oh, it's dead.
54 points of
she
damage.
Did.
Holy
She's
crap.
so dead. I am really glad that what's coming is worse than this, because I clearly did not scale these properly. That is,
Right.
yeah,
And
she
who's
did.
left? There's 3 of them left, correct?
So yes, there is the version of you, there's
will
the
kill
version of
you
Lance,
for
and there's
now.
the version of Keith.
Alright.
Still remaining.
I'm going to pull a dagger out of my coat that
Uh-huh.
looks like a hour hand.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to cast a spell, and a spectral light increases it to like a long sword, making it the minute hand. And then it chimes, ding, and I disappear.
What?
When the second ding happens, I appear behind Cat Lady. Ding! I teleport again behind myself. Ding! Teleport again behind the last person. And then the spectral hand goes away. Give me a moment. That'll hit.
Right? What is
That'll
this?
hit.
What are you doing?
Stuff?
That'll hit.
Wow.
No, 'cause time's
And each of them are going to take
A lot.
What spell is this?
Bet you can only use it once though.
25 points of damage to each of them.
Okay.
crap.
This is a spell called Steel Wind Strike,
Yeah, Steel Wind Strike is dope.
if you'd like to read.
Yeah, I would.
Your doppelganger and your doppelganger
Go down.
are dead. Your doppelganger is real upset about life.
And I'm going to position myself right by him so someone could flank.
Okay.
I really
That's-
enjoy the flourish that you picked
That
up,
right.
actually.
was
That was very
really-
well.
What?
Like I need
What
more.
level was that?
That's
I
a
need
fifth-
more
fifth level?
tokens
Yeah.
so that I can throw one at you because I really like how you flavored that. That was really
Thank you.
really well done.
I'm clock themed.
Where are they?
You should have them sitting there on the.
Alright, I
already
have
gave
no
those
more
away.
5th level spells.
You have
but
the one that Lance gave you back, right?
Oh, yes, I do. Ha!
I rolled an 18 and 2 16s, by the way.
Nice.
An 18 and 2. Yep.
As 2 attacks, and it's plus a 9, so I
Yeah,
figured.
oh yeah, you'd hit. I'm glad that the thing that's coming is worse. Alrighty then.
Good to know.
So there is still a you up and bleeding severely and real unhappy about life. And that brings us to the next 18.
Go for it.
You get advantage. I'm flanking with it.
He ended behind it.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
get advantage when you
Yeah,
attack.
that's
I mean,
just a
provided
normal
we're
thing.
using flanking rules. If
Yeah.
he's behind it directly, then we can.
Okay,
Includes
well,
you, my friend.
I'm gonna come at it with my short sword. Very grateful for that advantage.
The first one was 2.
Yeah, it was. Although that still would. Anyway. That's 25, 26?
Oh, that's gonna hit. That's gonna hit real good.
Yeah. And then. I mean, it's looking pretty rough, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's definitely not happy about life by any means.
So that's 9 points of damage. And then I'm going to use my second attack. Because I have one of those.
You get advantage.
Oh, well. That is 17 to hit.
Oh, he did.
That's another 8 points of damage.
Yep. He did. He
Which one of our doppelgangers did I just kill?
That was me. I was the last to survive.
Very nice. Very nice. You two, while you think that you got the right people, there's this inkling in the back of your head now that's kind of wondering if the doppelgangers that you killed are actually the doppelgangers.
Oh.
Just so you know, that's a little thing. You think they are. You're just not so sure.
That wouldn't count as a disease by any chance, would it?
Nope, pretty not.
Diseases of the mind don't count for paladins.
I just conjure a handkerchief and wipe my dagger and put it back in my coat.
Excellent. All right.
You have quite the skill with the blade, my dear.
It's nothing.
Do the weapons just stay on the ground? Like, what happens to the bodies? Are they still there?
After just a couple of seconds, they begin to kind of melt into the ground, and you can see it's kind of interesting the way it happens. It's like the myconids just kind of develop over the top of it, and they melt into the ground. You're not totally sure if that's because they were kind of a figment anyway and they were disappearing, or if the fungi actually ate them. It's a little unclear.
Little column A, little column B.
Maybe a little both. Tasty snack. That was the toad on the stick for the myconids. It's fine. So, continuing forward, or actually not so much forward, continuing what direction you might want to go, what are you doing with that mirror, since that was clearly not the right wall?
Anyone else have any ideas which wall?
I'll take it and move it to the
I'm going
next
to
one.
second wind,
Which wall is this?
catch my breath.
I mean, I'm just gonna move her
90 degrees?
90 degrees clockwise, whatever.
Okay. That actually shows through a path that goes on to another road.
Continue on then.
I'll go ahead and step through since our guide isn't really guiding.
I'll follow right behind.
I don't know what you're talking about, Keith. I've been guiding you this whole time.
I'll
Yes.
stay in the middle.
Beacon of Hope going back up.
Awesome. Excellent. You continue forward for a little while. You're back kind of in a path that resembles where you were before. It looks a little familiar, weirdly. I mean, as familiar as these things can look. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's an interesting feeling to feel like you're in deja vu in a place this weird. As you continue forward, there is another turn. There is a right and a left-hand fork.
Since I'm in the front, I'm gonna go right.
Okay.
Alright. So, on the right-hand side, you continue down a little ways. You begin to hear this rumble from deep within the woods. And this
Sorry.
terrifying roar.
Oh,
How close to us?
It's pretty close.
All right, I'm gonna. Oh, hold on. And I'm going to cast Magic Weapon on your weapon. So I'm.
Beacon of Hope will drop. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna reach out and touch your weapon. And is it still the mushrooms everywhere?
Yes.
So mushrooms with thorns on top start sprouting out of your blade. You get +2 to the weapon for the next hour.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Very, very nice.
And +7 damage.
What direction is the sound coming from?
Sound is coming kind of from leftish in front.
Okay. Is it still sort of the really thick hedge?
We go rightish back.
Like wall?
Thick hedge, thick
It doesn't
myconid
matter.
cover on the hedges. It's like diseased hedge, but it still is thick. It's still functionally kind of a wooden wall, a woven wooden wall. As you continue through, if you ever want to like pause in any spot that is through this, let me know. That's fine.
Just
No,
continue.
it's okay.
But if you're continuing through,
We'll keep going.
you begin to feel
Give me some player's handbook.
another strange pull, as though you're starting to not feel super great. You two especially so.
Another wisdom.
Roll me another wisdom save.
At advantage.
I'm not going to
Ooh.
roll.
No, not
This
at
is
advantage.
not mine. Yeah,
'cause
you
Randall
guys.
Hope's gone.
You guys are at disadvantage.
Disadvantage?
Yeah, because you're already questioning yourselves a little bit on this.
20.
This was wisdom, yeah?
Yes.
23.
20.
Okay.
19.
8.
You are pretty darn positive that one amongst you did not make it through that last encounter. Roll me a, no. Yeah, roll me a D4.
4.
You are positive Braden did not make it through that, actually. He is an imposter. You are positive he is an imposter.
We killed the other one.
Okay.
No one man would have that much power.
And you were the one leading. You were in the middle of the group?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hang back just a little bit.
Can I insight check to see if he's succumbed?
I'll allow it.
26.
He's losing it.
You don't have that up.
What was your character's name? Claudius, right? Claudius, are you feeling alright?
I'm alright.
Is everyone else okay?
I'm alright.
I'm fine, dear.
I'm gonna go ahead and put my dagger back for a moment. All's well.
Anything you'd like to share?
Nothing in particular. So I'm just sort of like subtly nodding.
I'm just gonna see if I can notice.
I'm at the front.
Wind,
of all this.
wind, 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 wind.
Would I know if this would work to fix that?
You're pretty sure it's not gonna work until you get out of the maze.
Okay, cool.
So basically, nothing's going to work till we get out of the maze.
Some things will work. Restorations probably will not. You would not know this.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay. So as you round the next corner and see what you think is another opening coming, before you actually get to the opening, you hear the crashing of feet.
What a surprise.
And what you see
Terrifying.
is a much darker version of this.
Ooh,
Oh.
devourer.
And for the record, that's a normal sized guy in
Okay.
the chest cavity.
Oh.
Oh.
So he's
Wow.
big, bad, and awful. And looks almost like a shadow. It's kind of interesting. He looks like he is solid,
Back of the book.
but he looks kind of like a shadow. It is a horrifying sight to see. And let's see, because he's very large and currently digesting something. Oh, but he sees you. He definitely
How do we do
sees
that
you.
one?
Is this a fiend?
Yes, actually.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, well,
He is fiendish.
Roll initiative.
Roll initiative, indeed.
Roll high, baby, roll high.
Well,
There it is.
He's definitely
Let's go a bit higher than 6.
26.
Well, that's higher than 6.
Good.
Yeah, that's 5.
Oh!
Ooh.
With a +4.
Oof.
Ouch.
So Keith got 26, you got a 5.
That's what I was anticipating for the last
Ouch.
fight.
And Nat?
18.
18. Okay.
10.
10.
21.
21.
Woohoo!
And he got a 2.
Oh.
That plus.
So sorry. So he's
Almost
gonna
paid
go
off.
First. Monster.
Let's go
Okay.
raging now. Come on, let me show you how. Come on, rage with me.
Okay, so he's 1. Keith is 2.
Mhm.
6. Okay. So he is going to take a look down and reach down to claw. Who's the first one out the door?
That would be you.
I'm so sorry. It's an unnatural 20.
What's your AC?
You just got me.
Oh.
Okay. And that's gonna be
You have an AC of 2?
No. I have so many negatives to my AC. What is your AC?
Ooh.
13.
Ooh.
What's yours?
Unfortunate.
Yeah, but I got a lot of hit points.
So that's gonna end up being.
You can stop rolling anytime.
19 points of damage. The first 6 of those are going to be slashing. The rest is necrotic. I'm not sure if that matters really.
I'm not sure that makes any difference.
I
for
need
me,
to look
so-
up a couple of this
And
spell.
then he is going to. Who is second?
That'd probably be me since you moved to the back.
Well, I
So-
moved behind you.
Yeah, so it would probably be me.
I think I
Okay.
was taking up the rear.
Okay. So. Oh, that's very unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
Is
if your
there a
name is
save?
Braden.
Actually, if this was going to happen to somebody, I feel like you would actually be a really excellent person for it to happen to.
Good. If bad things are gonna happen, I'm really glad it's happening to you.
It just strikes me, based on some of the other things you've already done, I feel like there could be some interesting stuff this might happen.
Alright, go for it.
So, I'm trying to find if there's a save you make or if this just happens.
I would imagine there's a save.
Well, it's an attack roll, I should say.
Oh, okay, I see. Well, that's okay. I'm still gonna work this. So, I would like for you to make a. Let's have you make a strength save.
Oh boy.
Yep. You're so strong, Braden.
5. No, those are my giveaways.
Oh, you've already used them.
5.
Oh my god.
1?
Okay, no, he's gonna win this, but he rolled a 5. The only reason he wins is because of his bonus.
I see.
He's going to reach down and grab you and stuff you in his mouth.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm inside.
Yes, you are. So for
Well,
that,
solves that problem.
because you are not already
What?
at a low point level, you are only going to
Say it
take
out loud.
10 points of damage.
Oh, that's not too bad.
You?
Okay.
I have many
Yep,
things.
yeah, I figured it out.
So Keith, you it, man.
And so how tall is this guy?
This guy, he is a large fiend, so he is.
I'm in its chest.
Yeah, he's effectively in its
So
chest.
I'm gonna be taking.
Okay.
I'm gonna be taking damage every time you hit.
So
Yeah, you are.
I'm going to
Scheiße.
pop out my claws,
I
Uh-huh.
forgot I had this.
and I'm gonna run and climb up it to get to its head,
Okay.
and then it's bam bam, and then blowing a key point to bam bam.
Very nice.
Flurry
What you
of
got?
blows.
What's your
Fairy of bird.
what's your strikes? What's your damage?
Well, that's what we're gonna find out here.
I'm gonna have fun with this.
Yep.
It's been a while since you've been a full spellcaster, huh?
Okay, so 12 is my lowest 2.
That's your lowest. The 12 does not hit.
Okay, then I've got a 21
That hits.
and a 22.
That hits too.
So, those 2 will hit. And it will it'll take 14 points of slashing damage from that.
Okay.
And I would like it to please make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, dexterity.
Very
save.
nice.
Are you open palm?
Oh,
Nice.
whoa. 10?
Nope. It is now knocked prone because
Oh.
I
Mm-hmm.
hit it with my hands technique
All right then.
and basically just knocked him back with one of my blows. And then I'm going to do sort of a backflip and land on, 3-point landing right at its feet.
Very nice.
As it goes down.
Very nice. He has prone. He is prone. So
He's been proned.
yes, he has been proned.
He has been prone.
Lance, it's you.
I am going to walk up to the monster.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to reach down and touch it with my staff. Does a 27 hit?
Yes, it does.
Great. In that case, where I touch the monster, these veins of stone begin to spread across it, and they cover its eyes and move inside into the skull. It is blinded and has disadvantage on wisdom checks and wisdom saving throws. At the start of each of its turns, it has to make a constitution saving throw. If it fails 3 of them, then that effect lasts for 7 days.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I mean,
So
I don't
he
think
is
it's gonna last 7 days.
he is
No,
blind.
but he
Blind
is
and what?
blind
They're-
and
they're-
has disadvantage on all wisdom stuff.
Okay. She wasn't that wise to begin with, but that'll probably be
Undead
useful.
typically are not.
Yeah.
It's not undead, it's a thing.
Mhm.
Yep. I almost
Mhm.
used that in our last fight,
So that
but I
brings
couldn't get close
us
enough.
to where's my 4? Nah.
Okay. So I'm going to hit it with my short sword. Does a 21 hit?
You have
Yes, it
advantage.
does.
Well,
It is prone. A roll for a 20.
Yeah, just in case
Okay.
you get a 20. If you can get a 20, you want it. But
nasty.
okay, so what did I say? 21 hits?
What kind
Uh-huh.
of cleric are you?
Okay. And
Okay.
then how rough is this thing?
oh, he's fine.
He's fine?
He's-
okay.
He's sitting down, but he's fine.
Okay.
He's
Um,
annoyed.
Then I am going to throw a divine smite into this
What level?
at first level.
Okay. Next level, you get an extra D8 on all of those.
Don't forget your attack got the.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Welcome back to maths.
I should have asked if I had advantage because he was flanking with
I'm
okay.
inside.
It have to be on the other side, not the inside.
I feel like if it's internal, it's not as likely
It's
to
okay.
count.
It's
I'll get
fine.
myself swallowed by the dragon, and then we'll flank it.
It's,
Flank mate.
it's fine.
18 points of damage?
Okay.
Radiant, I believe.
Yes. Some of that is radiant damage.
Well, you should probably figure out how much.
Yes.
Does it matter?
Yes. It always
Um,
matters.
7 points of that
It
was
matters
radiant
playing
damage.
Blood Hunter before it matters.
So 7 points is radiant.
Yes.
As a former cleric.
And then, does a 27 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Same thing. I'm gonna throw another first level divine smite in here.
Ooh.
So that's 12 points of damage, and 4 of that's gonna be radiant.
Say that one more time, sorry.
12 points of damage. 4 of it is
Radiant.
yes. Did I say 12?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it 12?
Gotcha,
Okay,
gotcha.
paladins aren't so.
Excellent. Alright, so that's not.
Stevens, excuse me?
Do not bash
It's
on
gonna be
paladins.
radiant.
Paladins are
Okay.
freaking awesome.
So I did name my dog Figaro. I'm retconning that to Fenton.
Even though you said Fido a few minutes ago.
That's
I'd just like
true.
to point
Oh
out.
shoot.
Maybe he's crazy.
Maybe.
Alright.
Look, I've had more dogs in my life.
You may be right. I may be crazy.
All right. At the beginning of my turn, Fenton attacks.
I mean, I certainly think he's here.
Do it! Yep.
Okay,
Fido Fenton Figaro is on the game.
so
You only
32. $42, 52
Total?
total.
Okay. Wow.
Man.
How's it looking now?
A lot more annoyed. and a little bloody.
Don't worry, it'll be more annoyed. Thunderstep. At 4th level.
Kaboom!
So I'm going to teleport 30 feet away from it. and it's gonna take 4d10 thunder damage,
What's the
This is
range
exciting.
on that?
10 feet.
Yep.
It is a large creature, so none of you are affected.
And you're starting out on the inside,
Yep.
so
Yeah. Okay.
9, 11.
Oh, by the way, any of you who are within 10 feet of me cannot be frightened and have a bonus to
20
saving
points
throws.
of thunder damage.
Okay.
Kaboom.
Kaboom!
He's looking a little haggard. Like he's still definitely up, but he's not as happy
Now,
about it.
are we
as he
doing
was.
the thing where you can only cast one spell per turn?
That is an action, yes. Now,
Can I do something as a bonus action?
if it is a bonus action spell, yes.
okay. So
So,
just to clarify,
normal-
usually
Normal rules, you can only cast a second spell on your turn as a bonus action if it's a cantrip.
No, if your first spell is a cantrip.
Oh, is it if you're...
Because there aren't any bonus
Right.
I
spells.
didn't
Right,
what-
but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
So you
So
can
that's-
roll
that's up to
differently
you.
if you
Yeah.
want, but normally you can't throw out...
That's been
Two
it's been
normal
debated, but
spells.
or I could show a tweet by Jeremy Crawford.
It is your call as the dungeon master,
It is
which
your
you would
call as
prefer.
the dungeon master.
I maintain control to retcon this if I feel like it makes things too OP.
Sure.
But let's try it and see what happens.
Sure. Oh, this is gonna be fantastic. So I'm gonna look through my thing. I'm gonna take an hourglass, put a little sand in my hand, and I'm gonna cast Dust Devil.
Are you regretting that decision, Danny?
I don't know yet. We'll find out.
So a 5-foot cube of air appears. I will move it 30 feet in the direct path of the creature.
Wait, now,
5-foot
hold
cube
on.
of air.
So you're inside this thing.
No, I'm not in
He
the
thunderstep.
I
That's
thunderstep
right,
out,
that's right.
yeah.
You thunderstep down. Okay. Carry on. Sorry.
And I can move it 30 feet as a bonus action. I need it to make a strength saving throw.
Okay.
or be prone, which it already is.
That's gonna be a 25.
That'll make it. Alright, it'll take half though. It'll take 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
That's okay.
Oh,
Ow.
that is your conjuration.
That's my turn.
Okay.
And I have that continually going.
Well done. Stephen.
It's finally me. Now,
We knew it had to
Brandon,
happen
I missed a
someday.
little bit. Where did you come out?
Behind it, like 30 feet behind
Okay,
it.
so I don't know if
Sweet.
I can see you immediately.
Nope.
Which is probably good. So I'm going to approach.
Almost as if it was planned.
So I'm coming in within 10 feet of it, and I'm swinging.
Very nice.
And I'm right at its feet, so depending on which direction
Well-
you come from.
Also, you have advantage. It's prone.
True.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, that's how I want to do that. Okay. I'm just going to swing twice. Does a 16 hit?
A 16 does not hit.
Okay, then that won't hit either. That's my turn.
You're very distracted by this imposter that is Braden.
Did
Like
you-
you are.
I think that's still inside of
Did you roll those attacks with advantage?
Oh, no, I did not.
Oh,
So
do
the
that.
first one missed.
So the
So
first
roll
one,
another
yes,
2.
roll, yeah.
That'll hit. 19.
Yes, it will.
And
Yeah, 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, 19, so 28.
Oh yeah, that'll for sure hit.
Always remember your advantage, my friend.
It's what we players live for.
So that's going to be 9 plus 5, which is 14. 14 points of damage.
Okay, 14.
And then because I've hit, I'm going to use the back end of my glaive as well.
I'm just gonna borrow this.
Yeah, I don't need. I saw what I needed to see.
12, so 14 plus 9 is 23 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay. And that's a 1 plus 5 is 6. And
Plus
then
that
6
is-
other points of damage from the back end of the glaive.
Good job. All right. So back around to him. Remind me, guys. It's been a minute.
He's blind
He is blind.
and prone.
He is prone. Is it a movement
It's
action
half
to
your
get up?
movement to
Half
stand
your
up.
movement.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's gonna stand up. He's not overly interested in moving because he can't see where he's going anyway.
And he makes
So
a
that's
save.
fine.
Oh, yeah, he needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh yeah, he makes it. That's a 24.
Okay.
So
Not
contagion is gone.
Yes. So, he is going to. Who is the closest
actually-
person to him?
No, it's not gone.
Oh, it's not gone.
It just doesn't get worse, right?
Okay.
He has
Or
to
he has to
succeed
make
on
3
3
times,
of them
yeah.
to
Oh,
get
Gotcha.
okay. There's a guaranteed 3 rounds that
Yeah.
it happens for.
So let's see. You would be within melee distance.
No, he wouldn't.
pretty. No,
He's
you
10 feet
Well,
out.
10 feet away, so if it has a 10-foot reach,
yeah.
then yes.
Oh yeah, he has a 10-foot reach. I'm pretty sure he's a lot bigger than you. Yeah. So we're going to.
I was also right at his feet too.
Yeah. So he's gonna be disadvantaged on these
Well,
anyways because he
as
can't
is
see.
Not Nyx. Sorry, Elaine.
Yep.
So all of you guys are melee-ish.
Everyone is in melee range
Everybody's
because I
Except
had to
me.
touch it.
Except me.
Yeah, except you because you teleported.
All right.
But it has disadvantage on any attacks it makes.
It does. So it's gonna go for her.
Okay.
Okay, opportunity attack.
Yep.
So,
And it's gonna swing and miss, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. So that's actually maybe not. So 14?
Nope.
It
I think
swings
that
and
was the
misses,
only one that could hit me.
takes this giant like swiping claw across, and everybody manages to just duck out of its way. And then
Time to consume.
again. Oh, I'm gonna punish myself for that one. So it's going to swing kind of blindly again, and it kind of trips over your tail and ends up prone again.
Oh.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Because that was a nat 1. So that brings us back to Keith.
After the opportunity attack,
Yes.
a natural 20 hits, yes?
Yes, it does.
Okay, it will take 14 points of slashing damage.
And so it shall.
Stabby stab.
I really like this.
Your
So
sentinel
did
build.
it land
You and me
face up
both.
or face down?
It would have been prone, so that would be face down. However, I didn't think about this. Everyone who was standing in front of it, make a dex save for me. It's not going to be a super hard one. You can see what's happening, and it's kind of slow motion, but
Oh no.
No, 23.
Oh, okay. You did 3. I was like, oh.
It's a 16.
Oh, wait.
yeah.
21, sorry.
16.
Yeah, you guys are fine.
Math.
You two miss him a little bit more narrowly than
I
Steven.
don't want to be too far away.
Yeah, that's fair. It's fair, but yeah, he just craters out right in front of you, and you gotta move to get out of his way.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to run up on his back. Again, going for the head. I'm going to grab his head. I'm going to start bashing it into the ground.
You are one violent cat
He
lady.
really is.
And since he's prone, I have advantage.
Someone
So
Actually,
it's
it reminds me of
2
Sebastian
attacks
Bob
plus
Bush,
another flurry of blows at the end. So 4 times.
Some cat
Alright.
ladies don't care.
The first one is a natural 20.
Yeah. Okay.
The second one is also a natural 20.
Holy crap!
The
What's
third,
wrong with you?
the third one is not a natural 20, but it's an 18 plus 9, so that's a 27. And then a 21.
All of them hit.
Jeez.
Wow.
All
Do
right.
your thing, yo.
So what? Is that
So-
like 48?
So, no, it's only d6s right now.
Oh, 46.
So it's like 12.
Oh, it should be a D8, shouldn't it?
No.
No. So for the first one, it was a
11,
6, 9. Oh, math is hard. 14. 8 and 5 is 13. So that's 27. And then 28, 29, 39 points of bludgeoning damage.
All total,
Total.
39.
How's he looking?
He's looking kind of rough now.
And then I'm going to, do a backflip so that I'm not standing on him, and then turn to face him again. I am also with that. He cannot take reactions until the end of my next turn.
Well, I don't think he was going to be able to anyway. But
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, if you guys just
blind
like
and-
walk back, it could try to swing at you.
So,
well done. So that brings
Let's go back to this side of the table, Keith.
So I'm gonna walk up
Vicious.
to where the cat lady just was smashing his head in, and I'm gonna stab my amber staff into him, and it's gonna start to sort of like melt like liquid and spread out. He needs to make a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage.
Yep. He'd probably fail anyway. Yes, both of them suck.
Great. So an amber brand of like a carving of a stone door appears in the back of his head. At the start of his turn, he has to make a wisdom saving throw, which will be at disadvantage. And if he fails it, he does nothing for his turn.
Okay then.
Yep.
He has been cursed.
Excellent.
That's exactly what I was gonna try to do in our last big battle. but I never-
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's Lance. You've got Nat.
Alright. Well,
Get him.
should have rolled these. I'm gonna take a swing
he's
and a miss.
At advantage.
At advantage, he's prone.
And a miss. Well, I guess that would still be a 15.
No.
I don't remember what this thing's AC is.
Close but no cigar.
We haven't figured that out yet.
Oh, damn it, I can't do that retroactively, can I?
What?
The, freak, where'd it go? Channel Divinity?
That's an action.
Oh, it's bonus action,
never mind.
isn't it?
Nope.
Oh no, yeah,
It is
that's
a
right.
bonus
It's a
action.
bonus action for you.
So yes.
Okay, so as a bonus action, I'm going to use my Channel Divinity ability, Legendary Strike, which means that I crit on a 19 or a 20, and I just rolled a 19.
Nice.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes, you can.
Part of the rules.
All right.
Yes. It's part of the rules.
All right. So. How rough is this looking?
It's pretty rough.
It's
pretty
on
rough.
death's
It's
door.
To give you an idea, if you were to put it in quarters, it'd be on his last quarter of a tank of gas.
Excellent.
All right. Okay. So then a crit would be.
And are you adding a smite?
Yeah.
The smites are done after you hit, which is another reason paladins are freaking awesome.
Which is doubled as well.
Sure. Yeah. Let's throw in a first level smite.
So
So. That's.
something plus 16.
Well, you gotta figure out your radiant versus your slashing.
Yep.
So that's. Wait. We have to do the crit damage. I hate math.
So
Okay.
what? It's 2d8,
So I
right?
rolled.
Right.
No, that's not even what I was counting in my head. 11 points of damage. Oh my gosh. And-
Which are radiant?
No. 8 of which are radiant.
So 11 points of damage?
hang on.
Yes.
She's not done yet.
Okay.
Well, yes, that's what I rolled, and then. Oh no, and then add 7 to that. That's just slashing. So another 7, and then
So we're
And
up
then
to 18.
full.
It's nice being
Plus
Six.
another
stuck
15,
through, isn't it?
Plus another full.
Having to do this again.
For the- is that right?
And then plus
Well,
another
spellcasters are
12
pretty good.
radiant.
Is it plus 18 plus 12 or
But wait,
plus?
it crit
18
for
plus
the-
12.
Does the crit count for the smite damage too?
Yes.
Welcome back to
So plus another 12
Skyrim
radiant.
disguised as Mass
Plus another
disguised as
6
Skyrim.
slashing.
If it's plus 18 plus 12 plus 6, you don't have to math anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have officially killed it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You stab into it. Well, how do you want to do this? We'll let you. You can describe how this works.
So I take my sword, and I just come up and just one big swoop. I want to take off its head.
It's not hard.
Its head just rolls across
It
this
makes
area,
that sound when it comes off.
and you can just smell like
Like a Lego man.
death and very. You could definitely tell that Braden was not the first person he tried to snack on. There are like some bones stuck in his throat that you can see, some weird stuff like that. You probably figure he's had more than his fair share of like trying to cough up the chicken bone in the back. But yes, it ends up falling. Well, I guess it's already prone.
Rolling.
The head stops rolling at the edge of the hedge, and you can kind of see insects and fungus starting to like immediately.
Fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Delicious.
It's tasty time. And we'll get you to the next little spot here.
You were looting?
Oh,
Wow. Is there any loot? I dismiss my dust devil.
I mean, you can see like there are some metal knickknacks and stuff that if you wanted to crawl into his stomach, you could probably get that
Crawl back into his stomach.
swallowed from victims past, but
Probably not then.
yeah.
Remember the latrine,
Yes.
I haven't entered it yet. I probably won't.
So just past him, you can see the next clearing. Everybody make me a wisdom save, and you are at disadvantage. Actually, both of you two, because it is a cumulative thing.
Natural 20.
17.
25.
Okay.
9.
Oh, okay. So, to you two,
Who, me?
yes. You said 17, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You two are becoming increasingly paranoid. You see shapes that look very, very familiar to this this massive creature in the hedges. And in your mind, you're beginning to think that you're surrounded by them. You keep just enough of a hold that you're not being forced to attack them. However, Stephen, I would like you to roll an attack on Braden, because you've lost your marbles.
I was actually just waiting for one of those to open up. But
You can do whatever you want, but you have to attack Braden now. Poor Henry.
So actually, I lagged behind a little bit
Mhm.
as we were getting ready to head to this other clearing, and I am dashing 30 feet towards him.
Oh, jeez.
Can I see this happening?
Minotaur is just
Roll me a perception.
Can I see if this is happening?
I'm behind you.
Oh, yeah,
You
you're
might be able to hear it.
Are you
though.
ahead of him? Okay, yeah, you can't
can't.
anyway. You're fine. Yeah, I guess you can roll me a perception and see if you can hear, but you're gonna have to be quick about it.
10.
Roll me, I guess, a stealth? Are you
Uh,
trying
no
to be
stealth.
stealthy?
No.
Okay. Probably not.
Alright.
Okay, so what's going to happen, and provided that nothing is stopping this, is the first thing that's happening, or he's getting the horns first, and then 2 slashes from the glaive.
Okay.
That way. It is very smart.
So horns is going to be 25
Yeah, that'll happen.
to hit.
Yep.
Actually, I'm just going to roll the attack on all of them.
Yeah, you probably need to do that.
It's gonna be painful. Sorry.
This one might
Henry.
miss. 9 plus 3 is 12. So the glaive attack
Yeah,
might
that
miss.
won't miss.
That might miss too, actually. And then 14.
Shield.
This is a party member.
King.
Okay, so the first one is the horns, which is actually, I mean, the best one you could have gotten hit by with that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a D6. So it's going to be, I can't do math, 8 points of piercing damage.
Mess with the bull, get the horn. Correct.
This one's an imposter!
Wait, no.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Because Because I've been so good at those
Yep.
thus far. 20.
Of course!
I'm gonna
you
come
are
flying in with a kick aimed at his head.
Which one?
It's a
Okay,
really,
good.
really big head.
Hard to miss.
And that's gonna be a 22.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm also going to be. Let's see, how do I want to do this?
I need to check something real quick.
Creating party conflict.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Can't imagine that you're very dexterous.
Actually, I mean, I rolled sort of crappy, but 14
You do not make it, so you are knocked prone.
plus 4.
Is my
Stop it! He's one of us!
I don't know if it counts.
Let me know when I can do something.
Yeah.
You're also, by the by, gonna.
I'm gonna say
You're gonna take 7
that
points
will
of
work, but very temporarily.
Oh, that's fine.
bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Okay.
Stay down!
Oh, what was that for?
If nobody is stopping me other than the kick I received, I'm pulling my
Um,
jerk out.
Keep
I'm
So,
going
so
to
I'm gonna
assist.
walk up and I'm gonna put my staff out in front of you, and black sand or glass starts pouring out of your ears, and wraps around my staff and becomes embedded inside the amber. Your madness is temporarily gone.
You can actually see like this black sand inside of staff, like trying to get back to
What's
you.
that spell?
I used to spell magic.
Oh.
That's a,
It'll work, but it's gonna be very temporary.
what was that?
Ow.
You need to leave. Now. Through the gate.
So, you're in the clearing. The
Mhm.
gate is a little more difficult to leave than that.
Mhm.
Because when you're walking into the clearing, you see there is a tiny door. It's a tiny door. Right.
Where's the bottle?
Oh.
And ahead of you in the next little turn, you hear this weird, like, grunting sound, like two small creatures arguing, and occasionally a and we're gonna leave it there.
All right.
Okay.
Well.
What did we think?
That was awesome.
That was cool.
I think Braden summed it up pretty well at the beginning. I'm in.
Sweet. Excellent. Excellent.
Sorry, Braden. I'm really glad you didn't get hit by those other two, though.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you guys had fun. Would you like to outro?
Yeah, sure. So, thanks so much, guys, for joining us.
Wrong one.
Wrong one. Oh, this one.
There you are.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed having Dani at the helm. I know I did. It's been a real blast being on this side of the screen for a little bit, and it's nice to shift gears. We will continue along the same schedule. Dani will be running things until I've got my new campaign up and ready. So come back, tune in, see what happens on this weird, wacky, wild journey that we're on. Until then, if you want to go back and check out the full episodes of the original Glassbreakers Guild campaign, you absolutely can. They're on the YouTube channel that I just put up. Along with other stuff like our Cover Your Assets, like the other board gaming nights, the one-shots that various members of the party have run. They're all there. These episodes with Dani's campaign will also go up as well. Follow the same sort of release schedule, so look for those on Sundays. We also have,
Filming a recap tonight.
there will be a recap. We do also have our Discord server. You can check out news on this stream as well as Dani's creative stream and Curie's creative stream. And you can just hang out with us in the Hagsmaster, which is our in-game, in-character tavern where cool, interesting things happen. I don't know that we have anything else announcement-wise that we need to do, so with that, I guess we're gonna call it a night. Good night, guys.
Wait,
Wait, what?
No, we do not leave an outro.
We're
with
gonna
the same
call it a
thing.
night,
What
guys.
is that?
What was?
I thought that was just for mine.
No, this is our Last Breakers
Yours are not the only bad
Monster
We are equal opportunity in our ball
In that
grabbing.
case,
Grab
your bats and grab your balls.
but hold the mayo.
Yes, and remember, if you've got a hammer, everything is a glass house. Good night, guys!